Hey, what's up everyone? It is Undead, back again for the 24th day of my 30 Days of Battlefront Challenge series, where every single day is a new topic, and today's topic we're going to go ahead and talk about something that I wish was in the game at launch, and my least favorite vehicle, just because I don't really have much to say about that. There's not many vehicles to choose from. Now for this, I'm not going to go ahead and do any crazy outlandish requests where I'm like, oh, I wish they had Death Star at launch, or oh, I wish they had Scarif or whatever, because let's be real, all those DLCs, if you look at them individually, had incredibly unique and very different models in the base game. You never really saw any of the stuff from the Death Star DLC in the base game. You never saw stuff from Rogue One in the base game. Same thing with Bespin. So it makes sense that those are all DLCs that are separate, just because all of the time it took to make all of the stuff that is required for those DLCs definitely warrants, those being sold separately. But with that out of the way, my requests are a little bit more generalized. For me, for example, the things I wish that were in the game at launch is I just wish the maps that they released later down the line for free. I think it was a little bit of the problem of too little too late. I think what they should have done is really prioritized having the maps like Survivors of Endor, Twilight on Hoth, even the Battle of Jakku, to be quite honest with you. I wish they would have had all those maps in the game at launch, so instead of having only like 4 or 5 or however many Walker Assault maps we had at launch to play with, we had all those extra ones. We had a lot more, but it's one of the obviously the biggest complaint for the game when it first launched in the first month, and the reason why a lot of the players dipped out rather quickly when the game first came out was that there just really wasn't enough content. Once you play through the rotation a few times, if you weren't enjoying the core gameplay, once you played through that rotation, you were bored, and you were like, well, what else is it to do? Is that it? Is that all this game can offer? So with that mindset, I definitely think that having those extra, even just those couple of extra maps, would have definitely helped. While even though they're not the best maps in the world, even though they are my least favorite in the game, Twilight and Hoth and Graveyards of Giants is not my preferred, and Survivors of Endor just feels really one-sided. I still think it would have helped with the feeling that there wasn't so little content at launch. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much how I feel about the matter. I think if they just had all the free stuff in-game at launch, the extra outfit for Luke, and stuff like that, I think it definitely would have been a very positive launch reception. I think overall it would have helped the longevity of the game. With day 24 out of the way, let's go ahead and jump to day 25, which is all about my least favorite vehicle in the game. And this is a pretty easy choice, kind of how my, the favorite vehicle day was way back in day 6. But for this, there isn't much to choose from, and for me, it's a very easy choice. It's got to have to be the speeder bike, just because of one, it's very limited. You can only get it on one map, which is very strange, which is the Forest Moon of Endor map on Walker Assault or Supremacy. Secondly, it doesn't really, it's very hard to control, you know what I mean? Like, most of the time, most of the people that get on these speeder bikes always end up crashing. It's so fucking hilarious seeing all these people explode everywhere. But it's really hard to control. I always drive it in first person just because it feels like I can, be more responsive with it. And thirdly, I don't think I've ever quite gotten a kill with the speeder bike before in my entire 800 hours plus of gaming experience in the game. I don't think I've ever once got a speeder bike kill. So all that stuff kind of has the speeder bike crowned as my least favorite vehicle in the game. For me, it's followed closely by the ATST, which may sound a little bit crazy, but for me, it's really weird. I feel like whenever I get in the ATST, I have the worst luck, because I can see some people pick up an ATST pickup and do really, really crazy good, and if they're on the enemy team, can sometimes like dominate my team. But for me, whenever I touch those ATSTs, I have the worst luck. I always get targeted by every starfighter known to man, and it seems like everyone on the enemy team is an ion torpedo or something like that. So I just have shitty luck when it comes to the ATST. But those are my least favorite vehicles in the game. But anyway, guys, that about does it for today. That is day 24 and 25 done with. That is some of the things I wish was in the game at launch, and that is my least favorite vehicle in the game. Dear God, help me, speeder bike. But anyway, guys, on that note, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and feedback on the matter. What is something that you wish was in the game at launch, and what is your least favorite vehicle in the game that you just can't stand? I'd love to know. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Catch you later.